Babcock's all up in Clarke's head. Brad infiltrates the Colorado operation. And Lacey's back. Hello. Come on back with us.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it goes down. You know,
Another one
every
bites the dust.
episode, every episode, somebody's going
Don't bite
down.
the dust.
So that's why this song is very apropos for what goes down in the package. And then when you hit it like that, like,
She got the shoulders,
Come on.
though. You know,
I'm gonna do my shoulders like this, huh?
Oh.
Like a real viral.
that's how we. Oh, it's like the new age thriller with virals.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm talking. Hey, AfterBuzzers, what's up? This is your boy Tanir Williams. We're here, season 1, episode 3. That should have never happened to you. Man, stuff going down. We got a lot to talk about. We got our special segments coming up later on. We got some news coming up. But first and foremost, let me introduce my illustrious panel. To my left,
illustrious.
starting with...
I am Jackie Ray, you guys. How y'all doing?
Hey, and as you know, it's your girl, Shauna O. Today, how y'all enjoyed that show? It was crazy.
Crazy. And again, I'm your host, Tanir Williams. Man, stuff going down. Let me get some overall thoughts.
My overall thoughts were I was just really excited to see her finally make it into, because, you know, the previews have been doing that, her being in this bunker. What are we calling it? The bunker?
Right.
That's all the previews have been showing. I'm like, yeah, she's finally in there. And now we can kind of see, she's going to be taking a bite out of crime in a minute. But I'm glad to see that she's in there and her calmness. And I think that's all because of Brad, because he's right there with her. And I loved how she panicked, but it wasn't a panic. And it was all to get Brad in there. I'm loving it.
So strategic. And that's our smart girl, Amy, who we love so much. I totally agree with you. I think that I'm glad she's finally there. We've been waiting long enough. But overall, I'm sorry, one part of the show really got me, and that was the whole Shauna story. That really is stuck with me today, y'all. And we're going to definitely talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? And like you said, again, the Shauna kind of storyline, it's... I mean, up until now, we'd only really seen like, oh man, she's the viral, taking folks out, and now you kind of see her get a little bit of her background, and you're like, whoa, okay, like.
I still don't know whether to feel sorry for her though yet, cause like she a killer, y'all. Like she's a killer.
Well, that's the thing. That's the conflict.
She bit the man.
Yeah, but he was a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So do jerks deserve to die?
I'm not saying they did, but if they just kind of went by the wayside, life would be better. Come on, don't play games.
Okay.
Y'all know life.
We didn't like him that much. It's fine.
Let's start with that. Let's start with Babcock and Clarke, because that was like I said, she was all up in his head this episode, and kind of starting with like I said, getting more into her background, kind of how she, I guess, evolved, and why he's having these kind of thoughts. I mean, talk about kind of her bad girl persona that she kind of had. I mean, what did you guys feel about that?
I loved her bad girl persona. I think she played it very well, number one. And I love she was like the sour and sweet things you gave me earlier that I almost choked on.
I gave her some Sour Patch Kids, y'all.
Not fun. But when you initially bite into it, it's like sour. But then you meet her and you get to know her story. Even when Clarke initially met her, he met her being a badass. She's fighting off these people from attacking her. And then when he kind of saves her, she's instantly like, so how's the weather where you're from? You know what I mean? She instantly kind of changes up. So I love the duality of her.
Right. Interesting. I saw it as once I found out what happened to her, I saw it as a defense mechanism, and kind of like when you're abused, you come up with ways to cope with things, and you can come out of something really terrible and then just be like, oh, how was the weather? And just to charm someone, to make sure you have an ally, even if just for that moment. So I think she's a smart cookie, but she's being controlled by Fanning. Fanning controls everything. For a minute, I thought Shauna was going to be the controller and that she was going to like sneak up on us, but Fanning is getting bigger, uglier, scarier, and I hate him.
I don't think he's controlling her, though. I don't. I think that he is helping her understand who she is in this new viral. I think he was almost instantly aware of his power. And like the doctor said, it seems like with every turn he gets stronger and stronger, and he's trying to help her see who she can be. I think he recognizes her power and knows he's going to need her for an ally more than he's trying to control her. Because I think he ultimately knows that one day Shauna just going to be Shauna.
Right.
And he going to have to be like, hey, we still cool, right?
Right.
You know?
Right. You know what? It's interesting that you say that, because I actually, when you brought up in the beginning, when they show her fighting off the dudes, and I was thinking, man, you know, with everything that she's been through, you know, she just probably had that in her, like, I'm not going down like that. Even if it was 3 dudes around, she was putting up a fight as much as a fight. So I was like, no, she's definitely got that fighter, you know,
love a good badass.
That mentality. And then when she had to do moms like that, because moms, I mean, that was just like,
that's how that had to go.
The gut wrenching part, like, man, your own mom just being like, you know, coming up with excuses, or, you know, did he really, like, what?
But when she said, the part that got me, that I was like, oh, and right when I had that feeling is like, that's when the knife went. When she said, you know, he's a pussycat, you could have said no. How far? I was 8.
You guys, when I tell you triggers, for everybody watching this show, they're trigger warning, because I wrote down in big letters, believe victims, protect victims. Children cannot consent. Her mother choosing Danny over her is disgusting and heartbreaking. And I ain't saying she deserved it, but it happened. Right. And you ain't no viral, so...
I mean, and especially
I disregard that woman. She deserves a bad bite.
Especially in those situations where, like you said, when she realized, like, you knew, you know, it's kind of one of those things. Just if she had been like, what, like, you know, I didn't know, or, you know, would be bad enough. But to know, I mean, that's man. That's
well,
right
you
there.
guys in the live chat agree. They said that they are fine with her killing off the mom and the rapist. They are fine with that.
The fifth co-host, man. You guys don't play. That's something like justice is swift with you guys. Like, we don't see no problems. Kill them off.
I heard this saying, you guys, before. It said, welcome to the Karma Cafe. You don't get to have a menu. You get what you deserve. And old girl just got served up a nice hot knife.
She did.
Nice, hot. Shauna has spoken. You know, let it be known.
Oh, look.
You know.
Who said that?
Kinky Kitty said, I was like, yeah, stab her in the gut and cut off his jubilees.
Whoa.
We didn't say that. So since y'all said it, we gonna go with
it. You guys are ruthless, man. That's what I like, though.
And he took her money, though. He took her money. That's the thing. Like, you gonna violate me and take my money?
And that was her money to move to LA for makeup, for special effects makeup school. And so she was trying to better herself, even though she did steal that money.
Hey,
sometimes when you steal money, it gonna get stolen from you. Like, you steal a man, he gonna get stolen from you. You know, it's just how it goes.
That's you know, and it's interesting because as the story moves along, so we see Clarke kind of going through. He's getting all these thoughts of what she goes through. So at the end, she's getting, you know, it looks like melted down or whatever's happening to her, and it hits that kind of breaking point for Clarke, and he ends up stopping it. And I don't know. I want to see. I mean, obviously, she's, like I said, she's deep in his head, and he's got some kind of pull like towards her. How do you think that's like going to kind of continue along? You know,
it's an emotional connection that we can't explain yet. I was like, is Clarke falling in love? I mean, does he still love Dr. Sykes or like her? Because he's not even like, she's like, you're distracted. He's not really into her like that anymore because Shauna's all up in her head. But is he just feeling empathetic because he knows he brought those people there? Part of me does not feel like that's the answer, because Clarke is not the nicest guy. By the way, very fake accent. I'm not feeling it.
Dang, she just put your acting skills on blast.
I would throw that out there because I ain't feeling him right now.
Wow.
So my thing with that, though, is I know him and Dr. Sykes are kind of a thing. I do not get the impression that they are any type of romantic relationship. They are, hey, we in this bunker, we can't get out, let's get it in relationship.
I agree with that, because really it's like since the first episode, we've never really seen a
nurturing moment.
Like loving.
Well, we had one. Remember when they first started with the whole, like, he felt her, oh, something's wrong or something like that. Remember? Or he got
and
in
she
with the
said,
key.
I don't want to talk about it. And he said, we don't have to talk.
You know what's funny? She really liked that line.
That was
first.
my favorite.
Now she don't like it.
No, I like it if, you know, like, I would love to say that, but in a different setting, you know, like, you know, you my man, but I don't want that to be our whole encompassing. Like, even when she said you're distant, it was like this fake little shoulder work. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have one tonight when they were just, you know, and it was just kind of a.
It was bland.
Like,
yeah. It was kind of like you leave, like, okay, well, that's how I guess maybe they.
We do have a question, and I don't know, but how old do you guys think Babcock is now?
let's see, it was 2012 when they showed that she was in the bar and
Right.
doing all that. So, I mean,
But we didn't know how old she was.
We didn't know how old she
I
was.
was figuring because they said I thought she wanted to. I thought maybe she was like I thought there was
Maybe like 21, 18.
yeah,
we
I
don't
thought
know.
like early 20s.
We don't
Yeah.
know. You guys know
So
that
that
you
would
guys
make-
are our other co-panelists, and you know y'all can tell us quicker than we can tell you.
Right.
Give it to us. Give us the info.
Probably on page 42 of the book it says she is 27, you know.
But she looks like she's still traumatized by everything that happened to her as a kid, and she's out for revenge. I think that because when she started foaming at the mouth, was that just like overload of memories, or
I think it was the poison that they put to sedate her to get her on that slat so they could take her to the UV ray chamber. By the way, of all the ways you can kill somebody,
they were torturing her.
UV?
Man.
And they're watching it with the pad, like, okay, I see burning, okay,
Right.
screaming.
It's wrong.
Check.
It's wrong. Like, hey, for the record, raise your hand if it hurts. Like, come on, that's
Right.
just rude.
No,
I
they're
wasn't a fan of that.
cold-blooded at the Colorado detention center or whatever it is.
But it
you know.
speaks to how strong she is, though, because even though she was being burned, she still was transmitting stories and ideas to Clarke, and that made him stop it.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I'll be in here for a second, but not for long.
That is, well, like you said, going forward, now that the fact that he stopped it, I want to see, you know, in terms of going forward, how he's going to handle that, or like what that relationship, you know, is going to be. Because I felt like at first she was having the overload of like, man, another person I can't trust or that's let me down. Now he's stopped, you know, he went in and stopped it. So is she going to be like, oh, okay, maybe you know.
Okay, let's be honest here. Are we shipping this couple? Like, is this really possible?
Who, Clarke
They
and
said,
Beth?
oh, we created a new species. Are we trying to cross species now? Are we trying to get Clarke the human into Shauna the viral's bed?
And what would happen? Like, when,
I can't picture it because how does that?
Right,
You
that-
know where my mind is at. Y'all already
right,
know
you
who
know,
I
like,
am.
if you gotta
Like,
go,
how does that-
if you gotta
like,
go get
What's
in-
your sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Well, okay, Scorpio.
if we get into the procreation
Like, I don't
process,
know
like
how that works.
Because like I said, like traditionally,
But they would get a daywalker though, and you know I love me some daywalkers.
I just, like you said, physiologic. I don't know how, because I thought that everybody like wasn't like. I mean, are they still alive?
I
Like,
don't-
like
yeah,
human
see,
alive?
I don't think they're still alive, but I feel like they have influence over you because, as you heard, the last thing that Fanning said to the other guy was, "We have work to do." So if you can influence people to do things,
But they still have their regular bodies, though. I mean, I'm assuming they function.
Let
like,
me just
you
answer
know?
my own question. I'm not shipping them. I think that she's crazy. I think that he is also crazy. He's definitely an enemy to Brad, and so he's not a friend of mine.
Wow. Once
Kinky
again,
Kitty said, "Do you think
Shauna
that after
dropping that hammer.
right?
Shade.
Do you think that after so long or so much treatment that they forget being mad about stuff?
Ooh, that is a good.
Do we
question,
forget?
Kinky.
Because I don't.
I don't think so.
My grudge list is long.
I feel like because they're able to transmit these memories, like they have stuff just packed
Yeah,
away.
right.
You know, maybe they can bring it up. I like you said, I feel like no, because you know Fanning's always talking about. I'm basically coming for you. You know, we got stuff. I'm
Yeah,
not, you know,
That's
he's like,
current.
so
I think that they have memories. They
I
understand
feel-
what's going
yeah,
on, and the way
yes.
that he stares at Dr. Lear, he's mad.
Yeah.
So therefore, yes.
I think there you have it, Kinky Kitty. I think they do. So we'll see. It is that. Did I say
They
the
said
name right?
they said we went mad scientists on them, and they're creating Blade now.
Okay.
Now if Blade shows up in the next episode, then I'll be like, wait a
I'll be
minute,
like,
what is
boom.
going?
They
what is
watching us.
going
They
on?
know what's up.
Oh man! All right. Well, before we get into our next topic, we have a little announcement for you, AfterBuzzers out there.
Yes. Hey guys. So we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk and for continuing to help us grow. If you're on YouTube right now, which we know some of you guys are, then hit the thumbs up right now. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, which we know some of you are, give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment like all of you guys are doing, and we love you for that. And get involved in the conversation. And being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you guys so much for supporting us and doing what we truly love. So don't forget to tell your friends, to tell their friends, to tell their friends, and keep enjoying the shows like The Passage right here on AfterBuzz TV. We love you guys so much. Thank you.
Boom! There you have it.
Amazing.
One thing I wanted to throw out there to everybody for those of you, man, like the tongue, like. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh no, somebody in
That's
your
Shauna.
head. Is
That's
somebody in
you.
your head?
Shauna Babcock.
No, for those of you watching us on the internet, you'll notice that there's only 3 of us today. So we want to send a shout out to Cherry. Cherry is unable to be with us tonight. I think she was
She's
not
not feeling well, and
Right.
we really miss you, Cherry. Shout outs to you. She's still tweeting you guys.
She
She's
is.
still even not feeling well. This girl is still on it. So please tweet her at @cherry_LA and let her know to feel better.
Yes, indeed. So moving on to the next thing. So this was a big. This kind of encompasses, I think, a large chunk of things. So we got Brad and Amy rolling up to Colorado. They were captured. They go to the center, and the first thing that we notice when Amy gets off the truck, Dr. Sykes sees her.
We've been waiting for that.
That was the moment.
Initial reaction is
damn.
right. Well said. Well said. I will let you go on that, Jackie. Continue with that.
Her whole face was like, she's like being all stiff, like, okay, I got a kid. Damn,
Right.
I got this kid.
Little black girl,
Right.
beautiful, but you know what? She put her doctor hat on and was like, "Let me just not say anything." And Brad was taken away. So, but I did see that moment, and so I'm hoping that I just keep hoping, girl, keep hope alive. Please help this girl, even though you're a doctor. Just figure out a way to slide her some information on how to get out of there, and we will forgive you for being who you are.
She's not going to do that. She's absolutely not going to do that because she said
Do
with
you guys
so
think she's
much
gonna do
conviction. No.
Come on, chat.
I think
Panelists, come on. 4th panelist
we got
tonight.
nothing right now, but she's got so much conviction when she said, "You are the most important little girl in the world right now." She truly believes in her heart of heart that this pandemic is on its way to us. We have absolutely no defense against it. She's not going to let the only chance that she sees in her mind to save the world go free.
You're right.
She's not going to do it.
I can't even argue with that, you guys. You're right.
I think it's like you said, she definitely bounces back and forth between, like you said, that doctor professionalism and then just being a human. You know, where I don't know.
Like she says things like, "Do you think we can, live a regular life after this? Knowing that you have really truly ruined some people's lives, even though they're death row inmates, most of them, and then a little girl, but." Those are people too.
Yes, indeed.
The chat thinks that maybe Dr. Sykes' maternal instinct will kick in and work in Amy's favor.
I was going to say,
feel
I didn't
me?
know if she had any kids, but you could definitely say she just kind of had that kind of caring, loving, like when it came to, dealing with Amy. And then it's like on a turn of a dime, she's back to talking with her other, yep, nope, we got to do this. Like, sorry.
So
Just
it's
like,
the other
dang,
people
Sykes.
who are influencing her. So we still have hope. Keep hope alive. I'm so glad that someone in the chat agrees with me because I'm trying to see the best in everyone.
She's going to hold her hand if she turns, but she's not going to let Amy out.
I agree.
No.
Look, I keep on going back and forth.
I love you, little girl, but you got to go.
Hang on to my hand in here.
She's like reaching through the little plastic, like, I got you. I got my rubber glove.
Right? Yeah, don't
touch me,
scratch me.
though.
Don't scratch me.
Still got the hair G, like,
Yes.
just don't. Like,
I'm not ready for Amy to turn.
but I don't know what she's going to
Turn into.
Yeah,
I hate the fact that Dr. Fanning immediately knew when she turned. Like he felt it. Who says he gets to feel it? Why does he get to feel it?
Fanning.
I think they all felt it in some way because when she was walking down the hall and Anthony was standing there, they had this unspoken,
Oh, see, now I thought that was the black people nod.
It is the
You know
black
what I'm
people
saying?
nod for the record, but I felt that with them because he the way he acknowledged her was more of a you what
I
I'm
see
feeling,
you.
you're what I'm feeling, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And even Dr. Fanning was like this whole dun 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 head up thing when he saw her when he felt her. So I think it's all something about her is making them go, oh.
Well, I jumped about 3 times.
Yes,
on
she
this,
did, y'all.
I'm a scaredy cat. I jumped a bunch of times with this. When they showed Dr. Fanning hissing,
Yeah, how was your arm? Because she grabbed
She
your
got
arm.
a good grip there.
He was
Kind of had
closest to
to
me.
jump on me too. It was like, boom. Like, what? Was that Fanning
he was
too?
closest to me. If it was her, I would have squeezed her arm too. I couldn't believe that
man.
they did that.
Yeah.
That was fun. Well, also a little bit of what we saw kind of in some of these like mini scenes that they kind of like throw in there. We still see the Clarke and Brad tension like coming through, He's got Brad when they come in and you kind of see again Brad's kind of trying to figure out like what's going on, all this stuff. And he starts kind of breaking down Clarke a little bit, like, hey, you were hardcore, and now you're starting to lose it a little bit, I think is what he said. And then when he says the part, or when Brad says, hey, I already watched the little girl sit by and sit by and watch a girl die. I'm not going to do it again. And I'm just like, what happened? Like, I want to know what happened to his daughter. Like,
I know that was so heartbreaking for him to say, and then that just made me hate Clarke even more because how dare you do that to him when you know he already went through that with his own child? Like, what kind of friend do you claim to be?
He's not a friend. Like,
and
that
he was,
at all.
it seemed
He's a
like he was
frenemy.
getting there, like he was almost about to be like, okay, like, and then the guys were like, sir, come with me. He was like, yeah, get him out. And I was like, he went back into like G mode. Like,
Well, he did tell him, you're being dramatic. So
Yeah.
I was like, if
being
you don't
defensive.
sit your behind now, I'm like, no.
Yeah, Clarke is getting on my
Dramatic.
nerves. He's getting on my last nerves.
So moving on with Brad, and in terms of, so he starts getting deep in the streets, in the thing,
And,
like,
AKA hallways.
right, just
in the hallways.
investigating. What's his name? Greg comes up, whispers in his ear, like DB Floyd. He's like, what's going on,
Let me ask
man?
y'all this. Who else thought, because we heard that Greg, his name, was a pedophile.
Yeah.
That really got me last week. So who thought when he came up into Amy's room,
Oh man,
I was like, I covered my eyes.
That
I was
would
like,
have
they
been-
better not. And but I think I'm starting to get the vibe he might just be a good guy.
No, okay, he might be. I'm not going to just, I always don't give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's just who I am. But I think he had that moment where he was looking at her in a very pedophile type way. I just got it, because who just sits there and stares at a child like that? That ain't normal.
But he also has seen the virals and what they do. He knows about them going into the mind, so he probably was like, "Oh no, not a child."
I don't think that's what happened. I think he was like, I sure would get you if I didn't know Dr. Fanning would get me if I get you, because Dr. Fanning got plans for that little girl. And so he just trying not to get ate.
Oh.
because you saw like how nervous he was when they first said the grunt. He was like, "What is the child doing here?"
Yeah,
He was
wait,
like, "Oh."
wait, is it a child
Right, like
buffet?
I can't. Like,
That was
oh,
terrible.
but no, that would have been like worse than Doyle. Doing
Yeah,
the
oh,
smack.
yeah.
If that, because when I saw that, I was like, oh. So I was glad Mark Paul was there. To
But
be
he
like,
came
because then you
through.
saw the way he came. Hey man, what you doing? Like,
Yes,
that was
Brad.
a black moment for Brad right there.
The chat's like, Greg looking over Amy grossed me out. It did. We agree.
See,
Ivan, we
okay.
agree.
Okay, see, I didn't
Yeah.
even see it like that. I thought he was trying to protect her.
Because you see the good in people.
I know it's a gift and a
Welcome
curse.
to the real world where people get ate.
I wonder if when they were filming those scenes, were they just like, man, you doing that too good?
Yeah,
They
like,
just
can anybody do a background check on this guy?
Amy's parents like, wait a minute. Like, that was a little too long of a
I
stare.
thought
What?
something was going to happen, but he ended up warning them. And then Brad came through with the life hack. Are we ready for this life hack? If you want to blind out a camera, flash the flashlight in it. No problem. We all got a flashlight, 99-cent store, everything.
I see you.
Get
Next
your
time
sneak
you're in
on.
the detention center and you need to get out, you better have
Right?
Okay, life hack that you won't need.
Right.
You never know.
Never
you
know.
never know.
Never know. So Brad starts getting deep in there, finding out stuff about Fanning, and finds himself at one point down in the depths of. I was like, come on, Brad, with just the flashlight. I'm like, come on, at least have a gun. You a federal agent?
Where's he gonna get it?
Knock the guy out
You
and
should
get
always
it.
have one. Where was Lacey when he needed her?
Well,
He should have just been like, here, take this.
I
bag,
feel like
know?
with the security guard, there was one point when they said, "Oh yeah, are you covered?" And he's like, "Yeah, Scott's on duty." He's like, I love that moment.
Yeah.
It was like I could take Scott, but where was Scott? Why you didn't take Scott and take his gun?
Scott went to go get Anthony some water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I know all things that are
She
happening
knows
with
all
Anthony.
things the passage.
But that was
Anthony.
all things Anthony.
I be knowing.
Right.
She loves him, y'all.
But yeah, I was like, okay, so he goes down there, and that was a real look on Brad's face when he got down there. He saw Fanning, like that scared look. I was like, oh man, I don't even know he was acting on that one. He was
Right, I
like,
feel like they turned on the lights.
right.
He's like, oh.
I didn't really know
Fanning
you were
is
down here,
so Ugly.
And then
He is.
who is?
Fanning.
Oh.
When they
His
put all those
veins.
veins in
Yeah,
his
that's
face.
not cute at all.
And I
Nicole-
feel like he can take him in and out of his face. Cassandra's go in and out. Why
They
he just
do.
leaving his on his
I don't
face?
know why that happens. If you know in the chat why the veins pop up
attractive.
when
And
at
he
random
looked hungry.
times, maybe that's. But can we talk about how Dr. Jonas or whatever, the one with the
Dr.
Lear, how did he just come out the cut though when he was like,
That
we can talk now? I was like, are you about?
He was like, that flashlight trick did not work.
Right.
Okay. We allowed you to use the heavy guy's eyes to do
I
it.
was like, Lear, how you going to just come out?
Or he might just be sitting down there watching Fanning like, I know you up to something. Because he did say, he was like, we thought they were catatonic, but I think they're talking to each other.
Right, 'cause he said,
he had
"Not
one of my,
eating."
he had my favorite comment in the he was like, if you're at a dinner table and you're not eating, what are you doing? You're talking.
See, that's interesting that was a favorite comment of yours. I thought it was BS because I feel like just because you're not eating doesn't mean you're not talking. I mean, that doesn't mean you're talking. Like,
Who are you sitting at the table with that you don't want to talk to?
I mean, you could be doing something else. And
Dang,
I feel
Shauna
like,
just be up.
She be like, I'm gonna get on my phone. I don't even like you like that. Like,
it's not like that. But it's just like they're not even moving. I feel like that was just such a leap to a conclusion. Like, oh, they're being.
Is it though? Because everyone's talked about Fanning being in their head. Is it that far of a leap to think that these two people who are sitting in the exact same position? That was the thing that made it obvious to me, is they both had their hands on their laps, looking straight ahead.
That did not make it obvious to me. It made me feel like, Dr. Lear, do you know something? Are you infected? Are you a trick? I need to find out.
A trick? She called
Not
him
like
a
that.
trick.
What is going on this
are
show?
you tricking us?
We're trying to keep the
A
family
trick?
oriented.
Come on. I mean, are you tricking us, Dr. Lear?
Oh.
Show just went and took a left turn. Well, let's get it back on track. Right?
Okay,
No,
so Ivan says that Fanning is older than the rest. It's why he looks veiny all the time.
Okay.
And he also has the original strain.
That makes sense.
Oh, and then somebody else said, Greg just reminds me of a vampire sidekick that eats insects and stuff. That's so jacked up, y'all.
That's so true, though.
That's so jacked up.
It's true. He's
Just-
really gross.
Nasty.
Yeah, he's Greg. They got the right dude to play that part because I'm just like,
Yes.
man, he's just creepy beyond.
Yes.
And the thing with him, I can't tell. It's like sometimes you're like, oh, like when he was telling Brad, oh, like D before, like it's like, oh, okay, he's trying to help people out, but then.
Right.
I'm like, I just can't trust that dude. I feel like he's gonna come back around, or like you said, Fanning's gonna get into it, like go do this, and you'll be like, oh man,
He
come
could
on.
be trying to
Greg.
pay penance for whatever he did to kids. You know what I mean?
Maybe-
That's why he's giving Brad
Maybe we
this
might
warning.
find out, like what, even though I wouldn't. I already know, like that kind of background. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting thing that they kind of threw in real quick that I want to discuss and would love to hear from the chat. Kind of a little Amy Anthony little bond that they had, the note writing session they had,
So
Yes.
much.
and how that might. I was thinking, oh, maybe. Kind of Anthony was having his little moments with Brad. He's feeling all big, and like, yeah, I look good.
Right.
I feel strong.
Right. He's like, oh, irony. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, what, like you said, like, what about her? Like, is he going to have maybe some kind of bond or, relationship going, with Amy where he might, like, hey, you guys try to do something crazy.
Yeah, the chat chimed in on that earlier, and they thought that moment of them passing the note under the door was super cute.
Because she was like, black folks.
And even just the smile that
That's basically-
he gave when he did that smiley face and the smile on his face, it was like communication from someone pure. Right. And I talk in my notes about how it spoke to the innocence and resilience of a child. She found whatever she could to be okay. And people respond to children that way. It's like, even if you're some hardcore criminal or whatever you are, if a kid sends you a note under the door, you freaking answer the note under the door. Okay, that's just how it goes. And I love that.
No, that was definitely a cute moment. And like I said, I think there's going to be something else going forward.
Yes, partnerships.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, and
we
they
gotta stick
in the
together.
chat they're reminding us that Anthony isn't evil in the books. So it's going to be interesting to see, because that Brad's comment to him where he was like, you look good, like you said, and he was like, yeah, because no one else is like that. He's not even locked in a cage yet. He's still in a regular old room. So
And
it's
he's
going to
very
be
open and honest about everything he's experiencing. Have you noticed that? I think the evil ones are a little more secretive. They're like, I'm experiencing something, but you never know what. And he's like, no, this guy's in my head. I can't sleep. I need some medication.
Yeah.
He wants to be done with it.
Yep.
You can tell.
Yep.
Faux show. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yes,
you too,
for
chat.
sure.
I know you guys got some thoughts and
Yes.
stuff on that. And the last thing kind of in terms of dealing with Brad and Amy that we kind of see, kind of sidetracked, is Lila. Lila
Yes.
coming back up in the mix.
Dr. Lila.
Almost forgot about
Doing
Lila.
her stuff, like calling up folks. I'm like,
You
she
ain't
is a
just gonna-
ride or die.
She is
That's
a
what I'm
ride or
talking.
die chick, and I love her so much. You guys know that. Go ahead. Sorry. I
Oh
just had to go ahead
no!
and-
So I was gonna say we got her kind of doing her little like reconnaissance mission on the names that she found. She gets some information on Shauna, ends up kind of following that lead, and I don't know in terms of just how that whole like kind of situation like with her, kind of chasing the lady down, all that stuff. Like, What y'all think?
I loved Darlene. I know we don't really get to
too.
see
Love you,
Darlene, but I
Darlene.
love Darlene because Darlene answered when she said, I'm looking for Babcock, and she was like, why? It was almost like, please tell me you looking so I can have a chance to redeem myself. Because she
Right.
says, I knew it was wrong. She was taken by federal agents. I've been waiting for your call. That's
Right.
kind of how she had that. Like, she wanted to tell this. And I thought that, shouts out to you, Darlene, whoever's voice you are.
Yes, definitely. Of course, you guys know I'm down for Dr. Lila. I love the fact that she is calling around. I think it speaks, I don't know what's going on there. Why is she calling all these people and no one wants to tell anything? I understand it's the government, but that was years ago. You guys are okay. Like, it's not like they're going to come and kill you or something. Are you, that really got me. Like, how can
Or
you
will
hang up,
they?
How can you hang up in someone's face when they're clearly asking about an inmate who passed away? It's a motive behind that. That annoyed me. But I'm so glad she kept on the trail and she tracked down that lawyer. Was she a lawyer?
Who?
Sierra Thompson.
Oh, no, she was the reporter that reported her husband was dead.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And so she actually got another ally. So she's not only an ally, but she's getting other allies. And then we get to the hotel room, and who do we see?
Boom!
Sister Lacey.
What up,
What's
Lace?
up, Lacey?
Cocking them guns. And she had plenty guns, let's just say that.
Yep. And cocking them because she's
Right.
mad.
Just chilling on the
and
bed.
not taking pain pills because I need to remember who shot me.
Right.
I don't like it.
Man.
She's serious with it.
That was it was good to see Lacey back. Lacey, we have sidebar on that.
Yes.
You guys, I know we had tweeted out some things that we were supposed to have Keisha Lewis, who plays Lacey, we were supposed to have an interview with her. There was a little miscommunication, so we weren't able to have her on tonight, but we will definitely get that rectified.
Reschedule.
Yeah.
We
And
appreciate her wanting to come on.
yeah,
That
for
was so
sure.
awesome.
Because she's in New York, so we had a little bit of time we're in LA, so just kind of things got messed up with time. But it's all right. We'll have her back on. We're in talks with her, so we definitely look forward to it, Keisha.
Yes.
Having you back on.
Can't wait
to do that because we got some stuff to talk about. So glad to see you back.
Yes.
And mad. I'm glad you're still mad.
Yeah.
I thought she was dead, and so when I saw her face, I literally cheered out loud.
I think we all did. We were just like, Lacey!
Yes. Yes.
Do you guys love her as much as us? Let us know in the chat. Sister Lacey is badass.
It's going
Yeah.
down. I think I don't know. Will there be like an infiltration of the Colorado led by, because she
that would
could
be
just
dope.
like guns, Rambo style, just like I'm taking,
could.
and she's a good
Weird.
shot, so it's not like she's gonna be like, she'll just be like pop, 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 and people
And
be
then
like,
weren't Brad and Clarke in the army or in the military together? And then so she was like there. So she probably gonna knock
oh
Clarke.
man. I mean, I could see her
waiting.
doing like a mission, going in like, Amy, come with me, Brad, take this gun, let's get
Yes.
out. I would be like,
That would be
Clarke is going to have to
amazing.
switch teams at some point, right? Like, he's going to have to.
No, he's
You
the
don't
evil
think
one.
so? Always and forever?
He's a bad guy.
Oh. But she don't
Man.
give the pedophile the benefit of the doubt. Y'all see what just happened here?
once again.
I don't have any proof that he's a pedophile. He did not do anything crazy to me.
I haven't told us.
Man, so yeah, those are pretty much like a lot of I think the big things that went on. So a lot went on tonight.
So much.
Even if it was like in little mini scenes, I love it again how like the writers, they just kind of throw like little tidbits. It may not be like a lot, but it's enough where you're like, ooh, that was like a juicy tidbit.
I have a question for the chat and for you all, of course. There was a point when, after Brad came back and found out about Fanning and everything, he looks at Amy and he tells her, oh, there's no monsters under the bed. I was like, lies. There's monsters under the bed. You lying, bruh. So answer me this. Is it okay to lie to a loved one just to like protect them or to keep them from worrying?
Ooh.
Is it okay, or is it just like, no, a lie is a lie, wrong is wrong?
Well, lies always turn to truth at some point. The lie never stays unknown.
Can we have an example?
Okay.
Because a lie be saying a lie to me.
Well, okay. Not to put my little gossipy business out there, but I watch a lot of Paternity Court. It's a show.
Did you guys expect that?
And,
Here we go.
they have people on there that they're on there because so-and-so has died, mom has died, dad has died, and in the process of them going through some paperwork, they find out that mom or dad are not their biological parents. So even if it's through death and even if it's 30 years later, the truth comes out. And as a parent, I think it's your best bet to tell the truth while you have an opportunity to defend the truth.
Right.
Because if something like that happens and you die and you're gone, now there's no reasoning, there's no explanation. All it is you lied to me my whole life. You know what I mean?
Okay, you
sure.
know what? She made a point. So the way I say that is everything done in the dark comes to the light.
Wow.
So that was the point. That's absolutely right. But I just felt like I don't like him lying to her. I feel like be honest with her. Let her know there's a couple things down in the basement, but you just need to stay away from there and don't worry, I got you. Because their relationship is just like I don't know. That might be her dad reincarnated. That might be her real daddy. You don't know. Because he loves her like nobody's business.
It's gonna be good. You know. It's gonna be good. Well, you guys, last week we kind of ran out of time, but we wanted to get to some of a couple special segments that we have that we definitely want to involve you guys in. So the first one is called Good Bite, Bad Bite.
Good bite.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a good bite.
Okay, we'll start with we'll start with Jackie tonight.
I'm gonna go with.
Oh wait, let me kind of like first explain it.
Okay, yeah.
So that they can
like,
participate in the chat.
I know you guys
because
like
we're
to
all
punch.
excited. So Good Bite. Actually, let me start with the Bad Bite. So remember on the very first episode we had where we asked you guys who deserved to get punched in the face. So we just modified it a little bit. So the Bad Bite is that person tonight that just didn't sit with you. You know, they deserve that punch in the face, but they're getting a bad bite, you know, keeping with the viral
Theme.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Good Bite, though, do we have our sound effect?
Our good bite.
Good bite is has to do more with
Yeah, there it is.
love
that's
it.
a good bite.
That's a good bite. No, our Good Bite has to do with anything where you're like there was something that kind of intrigued you, you know? So it could have been a person, could have been a situation. So we'll start with Jackie. Did you have a good bite or bad bite?
I had a good bite.
Okay.
And it was from Clarke. And the reason is when Babcock was potentially going to be assaulted, and not only did he rescue her, but he put the gun to that dude's head and he was like, "Are you having fun now?" Because the guy was like, "We're just having a little fun." So I like that moment specifically because he knows what they're there for. He knows they're probably not going to survive this, but you're not just going to be out here raping people. Okay. You know what I mean? So I like that he took that stance. So Clarke, I don't like you, but you my good bite tonight.
Boom. There you go.
Okay, well, I can't argue with that too much. I personally have a good bite as well. It goes out to Brad today. He's such a good dad, and I just am so happy that Amy has him in her corner. I'm just going to say good bite for Brad.
Yes.
Come on, good bite.
Okay, what you got? There we go.
There we go.
You got a good bite or a bad bite?
I actually have a bad bite tonight. Mine was just at the beginning when we saw when I saw Greg when Greg was staring at Amy. That just immediately I was like, here's this dude. Like that was immediately how I felt. So I was
he was literally thinking about a bite.
Man, I was, so yeah, bad bite for Greg on that one. That's my bad bite. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know what your bad bite or good bite was for tonight for you.
Okay, so Jazz 41173 says bad bite equals Fanning biting you. Good bite equals Brad biting you.
Oh, look at you.
I like that.
Hello. All right, yeah, definitely keep hitting us up in the chat. We're gonna actually move on to any news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
You know what? I want to just let you guys know that with this cast, there's not a lot of gossip. Like, this cast is amazing. They absolutely love each other. I mean, look at this. Amy and Brad have actually come up with the ship name. You guys remember last week I was looking for one? It's Brainy. Isn't that adorable?
Here
The
we go.
actual cast
Brainy.
has come up with it themselves. And Amy is also very good friends with Anthony outside of work. So they have like a couple pictures together, and I think that's adorable. As far as the passage, it is actually trending #1 on Fox
Come
right
on now. Come
Let's
on.
get some congratulations for them.
Yay.
We're very proud and we're so glad to be a part of this. Congrats to the lovely cast and crew as well as Justin Cronin. That's a big deal, being #1.
There we go. That's our
about
news.
it
That's
today.
our news and gossip. So let's move into predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Everybody gonna get bit.
Right.
I don't know.
They're getting out of the cages next week, and we're finally going to see a little bit of some of the other stories. And also, Dr. Lila needs to get together with Brad so that they can kiss again.
Oh,
Okay?
speaking of which, I'm going to agree with you on the Brad and Lila because I don't know if you guys picked up when she was talking to the reporter when she said, "Oh, that was my husband," and then she didn't say my ex-husband, or she was like, "That was my husband," and so I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yes.
So I think something's going to happen with them, and hopefully Lacey comes in and just just kicking tail next week. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
You know, so so those are our predictions for the week. Hey, we appreciate you guys. Again, being with us, being in here, putting your thoughts in the live chat. Keep it up. Leave some comments on our YouTube channel. Where can everybody find you?
You guys can follow me. Again, I'm Jackie Ray on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
And you know, you can catch me at Shauna O on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm Tanir Williams. You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at TanirW. That's TENEREW. So, again, we appreciate you guys. Next week, hopefully, we'll have Cherry. We'll be back. We'll be a full
Full
team.
family
Yeah,
again.
full strength next week. But again, you guys have an awesome week. Look forward to hearing from you. And hey, next week, episode 4, The Passage. Let's go.
Yes, buzz you guys later. Woo!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.